Okay. Yeah, we have our class on recording now. Welcome back to tonight's session. And tonight we are going to finish up project management methodologies. We started last week. So last week we treated agile project methodology, and I gave assignments. I asked you people to read up Scrum Guide to help you have a better understanding of how agile methodology and the Scrum, which is the framework in agile, how it works. I hope you guys have done that. Have any of you managed to read up? Because I sent even a download. If you managed to read it up, good. If you not have time to read it, you have to go read it up because it's very important. If you are going to be a project manager or a business analyst, you must understand how agile works very well, because today's business is technology, and everything we do today in technology is in agile environment, Scrum environment. So you have to understand it, because after this project management methodology, the next thing we are going to treat is going to be Jira. Jira is one of the top softwares we use in Scrum collaboration or agile project management collaboration. So that's what we're going to do. But let's finish up. We'll have PRINCE2 and Waterfall to look at tonight. I think we'll talk about Kanban. Did we talk about Kanban?
I'm checking. My.
Okay, let's briefly talk about Kanban, because Kanban is another framework. We have two frameworks in agile environment. We have Scrum and we have Kanban, but most of the time Kanban is just a small framework in an agile environment. Is always attached to Scrum. So Kanban is more like visualization of workflow in agile environments, help you to visualize your workflow. And that's it. Is nothing big about Kanban, and that's why they just attach it to agile. But they are two different frameworks, but you see them working together all the time. So what I'm going to do is that I'll start sharing my screen, have a brief overview of Kanban, and then we'll move to Waterfall, and we finish up with PRINCE2. All right, let's have a brief look at Kanban. So this is Kanban. This is how Kanban looks like. Kanban. So you see, is a visual representation of workflow within agile environment. And if you look at it, it starts from what to do. This is what to do. What to do is equally called backlog. And when you start working on the items, you see it, you move it from sprint backlog. This is where the sprint backlog is. You move items to in progress. And after working with the item, you move in progress, you put it to done. So the purpose is that you can see your work visually. We started with this Kanban with card. You see stickers. You can use stickers in a table, in a board. So you can do it manually, you can equally do it virtually, because these days everything now is technology. So that's why they develop. This is from where it started, from this manually, and then they created virtual Kanban, which we use to work. Many software have adopted Kanban approach. So that's it. And we're going to look at it in Jira as well. If you go to Miro, you can do it manually using Miro as well. But let's quickly look at Jira, one of the projects my students just completed. So this is it here for you to see how Kanban looks like. So you see this board you are looking at. This is what we call Kanban board. You see it. You see to do. You see in progress, and you see done. And if you want, you can come here. You can add another board. You can call it test. See, you have another board, and you see it's created and is flexible. I can say, okay, from here, I move this to this place. So you can see is now testing. It can be to do, in progress, testing, and done. You see the way you are visualizing this work. Okay, the work I have here that is in progress, I'll move it to testing, and I'll move this one to testing as well. And this one that is to do, I can move it in progress. And yeah, so this is how you use this is what we call Kanban board. So if you look at here, you see the name here. It's called board. The full name is Kanban board. Sprint board is Kanban board. So all this, that's what we call Kanban. So it's better to explain it practically like this than telling you so much stories on a lecture note. That's why. So that is it. And this is where we are coming to next time. This is our next topic, moving items to Jira. So this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be moving our items to Jira. So, but that is going to be the next topic. After we have this topic, then you guys need to come create a Jira account and then start moving our items from our product backlog to Jira. So let's go back to our lesson notes and talk more stories about Kanban. So Kanban is an agile methodology that focuses on visualizing workflow, limiting work in progress, and continuous delivery. Kanban uses a Kanban board with columns representing different stages of work and card. You saw the card as I'm moving the card from to do to in progress and to done. So uses card representing individual tasks or user stories, allowing team to visualize work, identify bottleneck, and optimize workflow. And the benefits: flexibility, adaptability to change, early and frequent delivery of valuable product increments, enhanced collaboration and communication among team members and stakeholders, improved transparency, visibility, and stakeholder engagement, greater focus on customer satisfaction and value delivery. So these are key benefits of Kanban. So it's more about visualizing your workflow. And if you go to If you go to Fruit Camp, you see our work there. Yeah, it's a bit in Kanban, but you see it's on a list. They have a board there. They have it. If you go there, they will still have I think we have a Kanban board there in our, but we can't go there right now because of time, because we still have much to treat. So challenges of Kanban, challenges of agile methodologies. Agile methodology requires a cultural shift and mindset. So we've discussed about the two framework in agile methodology is Scrum and Kanban. So last week we talked about Scrum and we briefly talk about Kanban. So now let's look at agile challenges within agile project management. It requires a cultural shift and mindset of change within an organization. Most organizations are not there yet. I've been to so many organizations, they are not in agile yet. Agile is so flexible, and so many organizations are still struggling to adapt it. So it requires a change, a total change, migration from the traditional method to the new method. And it's good. So many, for this to work in an organization, it requires intensive change management approach to change psychological mind change of employees that have been working in Waterfall for a long time. They can't just move to agile approach. And even those that are claiming that they are working on agile, they are not really observing agile rules or agile guide very well. Like Scrum guide, they don't observe it. I've seen so many people, so many teams, they claim that they are working on agile environment, but they are not. In agile said you can only have 10 team members working it, but you see so many people, there will be 20 team members and they will tell you that they are working on agile. You see so many of them, they will be working, they will be having daily stand-up once every week, and they will tell you that they are working on agile approach or an agile environment. If you are working on agile environment, you must have daily stand-up every day. You must observe 15 minutes. I've seen some team, they will claiming that they are working on agile environments. They will have daily stand-up every day, but their daily stand-up will last for 1 hour. So if you are going to work on agile, you must observe it strictly. So these are so many challenges we're having. So may not be suitable for projects with fixed requirements or regulatory compliance, requires active involvement and commitment for to provide timely feedback. So this timely feedback, which is having meeting every day, is too difficult. It's not easy. You might think it's not just having 5-15 minutes. It's not. It's difficult to observe that meeting every day. When you do it for the first 2 weeks, the next 2 weeks, it becomes difficult and be challenging to scale agile practice to large or complex projects on organization. So these are some of the challenges we're having. Then conclusion, agile project methodology offers a flexible and adaptive approach to project management, enabling teams to deliver high quality outcome in a dynamic and uncertain environment. If you embrace agile principle and practice, organization can increase project success rates, improve stakeholder satisfaction, respond effectively to changing market condition and customer need. So this is where we are bringing Agile to an end, and we have, I think I've uploaded these lesson notes, so you can go through the lesson notes. And resources we have here, I've asked you people to read up Scrum Guide, and I told you that this is where you can get the Scrum Guide from scrum.org. And if you want to write your become a Scrum Master, you can become a Scrum Master, register from this scrum.org. Yes, if you want to, the benefit of it is that it doesn't expire. The certification doesn't expire. I'm just trying to recap some of the things we said last time. And not only in scrum.org, you can write the exam. We have another one called scrum.com. They are called Scrum Alliance. Yes, you can write their Scrum Master exam, but it expires. After 1 year or 2 years, you need to go write another one to remain a certified Scrum Master. But when you write it from scrum.org, it is a lifetime achievement. You don't need to rewrite it again anytime to you remain certified. Okay, that's the end of Agile project management. Let's look at Waterfall. Waterfall is the traditional approach. Call it traditional approach or conventional app. That is the original project management before we started all this agile approach and that is the, call it traditional. That's why it's called traditional. So when you hear traditional approach, you know that they are referring to Waterfall. So, and you see it's the way it's flowing. It's flowing like water. The way water is flowing, that's what we call it waterfall. If you've seen a waterfall, that's the way waterfall keep flowing from up to down. And it starts from the analysis. From the analysis, that is the initiate stage where the business analysts conduct the analysis at the analysis stage. After the analysis stage, you will do design. And that is the planning. After design, we do implementation. And after implementation, you do testing and deployment. And you see, if you go to our field camp, you see what we are doing there. What we are doing there, we are following waterfall approach. But now, when we start with Scrum, so what we are going to do is that we are going to use both waterfall and agile approach together. If you can mix them together, that's what so many companies are doing it. Use the waterfall at the initial stage of the project for you to carry out a thorough analysis. Then you use agile for implementation. So you get the best, you pick the best out of the two. It's not a renowned practice, but so many companies doing it, and we call it Wagile. When a mixture of waterfall and agile is called Wagile. So companies does that a lot, but Wagile is just a nickname. So there's nothing legally or professionally called Wagile, but we use it, so we just have to merge it and call it Wagile. So Waterfall is a sequential project management approach that divides the project life cycle into distinct phases, and with each phase completed before moving to the next. Seji, you are not on mute, and the echo is
yeah, sorry.
yeah. So the We have testing. The phases here start from requirement gathering. Like I said, we are using Waterfall. Requirement gathering, we've done requirement gathering. We've done requirement design. We are at the last stage of requirement design. Requirement design, and after requirement design, you start implementation. And during the implementation here, this is execution for us. That is where we are going to bring in this phase. We are going to bring in Agile to work on this phase. So after implementation, you do testing, and after testing, deployment, and after we continue with maintenance. And each phase relies on the deliverables produced in the previous stage. So that is Waterfall for you. You cannot start phase 1 without completing phase 2. You cannot start phase 2. Okay, you cannot start phase 2 without completing phase 1. And you cannot start phase 3 without completing. So it's sequential. That is where, if you look at when we are building or creating our project plan, you see the sequence. What do we call the sequence? What we call the sequence in our project plan? It's called predecessors. Predecessors. We use predecessors on this. So yeah, so that is it. So that is the sequence.
Perfect. You
Okay.
mean finish to start, right?
Yeah?
You mean finish to start?
Yes, you have to finish before you can start another one. If you don't finish the successor, you can't if you can't finish the predecessor, you can't start the successor. Are you getting it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So that is complete waterfall. And that is what this diagram looks like, what the representation of is flowing. Okay. Key phases of waterfall, we have requirement gathering. In the requirement gathering, we'll talk about it. We'll know about most of the things we've done in requirement gathering. Project stakeholders define and document project objectives, scope, and requirement. The requirements are typically gathered through interview, workshop, and documentation review, and serve as a foundation for subsequent project phases. We know this. We've captured it. We've done this very well. This is what we've done within our initiate stage. Then we have design. This is what we call solution design. The planning stage, you can call it solution design. You can call it design. You can call it planning stage. You can call it define stage. Any of the name you give it works. So in the design stage, the project team develop detailed design specification and architectural plan based on the requirement gathered in the previous phase. The design phase often include activities such as system architecture, user interface, and database design. So this is where we create all this product backlog. In Agile, we call it product backlog. In Waterfall, call it technical requirements. So that is it. You design all this. And you remember, we have a lot of activities there. You need to do a lot of visualization, like what I told you about unified modeling language. You use unified modeling language to create a lot of diagrams. You can create diagrams like a mock-up. You can create diagram like what this use case diagram, wireframe. These are some of the things you can create. They are part of the designing. User stories and acceptance criteria. All these are part of the design. Okay. We call it solution design. Some call it solution design. Whichever way you call it, name you want to put it. This is part of the methodology in this this waterfall methodology. So that is the second stage. And then after then you move to implementation stage. We call it execute in our project. During the execution is implementation. So in the implementation phase, the project team translate the design specification into executable code or tangible deliverable. The implementation phase involves coding, programming, configuration, customization, and integration of software components and systems. So you guys know we have been busy doing design. Very soon, after this session, we are ending everything about design. We've ended everything about design. This is just to help us to move to some of the activities in our execute stage, because we are planning to enter execute stage. That's why I kept this particular lesson to keep us afresh of what is expected from us at the implementation stage. So that is what is expected to do at this stage, and that is what we call execute in our own. If you go to Fruit Camp, you yes, you are going to see it. Then after execute, after implementation, we have testing. Testing in our implement stage, we captured it together. Both implement and the testing will capture them as these three: implement, testing, and deployment. Will capture them into execution stage. So after this, we conduct testing. We've created our use case. We've created our test cases. We have our test plan, test cases, test scenarios. At this point, this is where we are going to start using them. In the testing phase, the team verify and validates the functionalities, performance, and quality of the project deliverable. Testing activities may include unit testing, integration testing, system testing, user acceptance testing, and regression testing. After testing, everything works fine, then deployment. So deployment, in the deployment phase, the project team release the completed project deliverable to end users or customers and transition the project from development to production. In project management, more especially in software development, we have two major phases of the software or the solution. One is development stage. Everything you keep doing from beginning to the end is still at the development stage. We call it dev environment. You might hear dev environment. When the work is still within the dev environment, is within the engineering phase. Only engineers have access, and stakeholders, you can tell them about the stage. At this point, you can't see this product anywhere in the market. But once we are done with testing and everybody is happy and is deployed, then it will move from the dev environment to the production environment. Production environment, another name for production environment is business environment. That is where the end users can start using them. You see all this development work, so many of the work we do, like PayeeGO mobile application. I have a team working on that project. They are still on that project has been in the is in the production environment. So if you go any like the mobile app, you cannot see it, but they are still working on it. Once it's done, then if you go to Play Store and Apple Store, you will see them, and that is what we call production environment or business environment, where customers can go and download our application, and then customers can use our application to send money to different parts of the world. So that is it. So that is production, and because you are going to be hearing so much about dev environment. In short, the major name, because in short term we call it dev environment and production environment. So that is deployment. Once we deploy it from dev to production, then it will be out for usage, and then we can start installation, configure. That is where this is done. Then we have maintenance. Most of the cases, the project team can still be part of the maintenance, but in so many cases, and in most cases, the work ends at deployment. Once the deployment, the project will equally end here. This is where we have project closure at deployment. Maintenance is an ongoing activity, and yes, it's captured in Waterfall. It's an ongoing activity, but most of the time the actual project team doesn't participate. We have support. You have project support. The project support takes it up, this maintenance. Some of the project team members can be called back, like the developers. They can be called back at any time if we have any kind of maintenance work. But as a project manager, they might not call you back. Once you deploy, you finish your assignment. So that is how it works. In the maintenance phase, the project team provides ongoing support, maintenance and enhancement to the project deliverable to address issues, bugs, and change requests reported by users. Maintenance activities will include fixes, patches, updates, enhancement to improve product performance and reliability. So we continue to maintain the product. So like I said, most organizations have dedicated support team. Every application, they have support team supporting that application, not the main project. The main project team is just to deploy. Once you deploy, that's the end of it, and you submit your project closure report. Benefits of Waterfall methodology. Yes, it has a very clear and structured project progression through predefined phases, well-defined requirements and deliverable at each phase, suitable for projects with stable and predictable requirements, easy to understand and manage for stakeholders unfamiliar with agile practices. So this traditional waterfall approach has been in existence for a long time, and most projects has been using it. You know, I told you guys how Apple promoted Agile, and since then Agile has becoming on the hot spot. So trying to dominate other project methodologies. So, and that is what is happening. If you go to construction industries, most of them, so many of them are still using like building real estate, building houses. They are all, most of them uses Waterfall. As a matter of fact, building a house is a very simple project. Very simple and very stable. When you close your eyes, you can see how a house is going to look like, having a floor, doing the foundation, doing the, you know what to do. And so it's a very structured project. So most of them, they use Waterfall. And when you talk about software development, it's very complex. You know, most of the softwares we are using today, it wasn't planned to be that way. But we follow what the customers need. Customers can push you this way, then they push you this way, they push you this way. As long, so you keep on following different, like, that is their taste, that is their appetite. Keep on following the customer's appetite in order to remain competitive in the market. That's why so many companies are following Agile. But Waterfall is not that way. Waterfall is rigid. Once we have agreed on a plan, we follow the plan. If there is anything that will change the plan, then it needs some rigorous validation, approval before that can be reached. But in Agile approach, you don't have to follow the rigid protocol. If you have a change, you can even close the project if you feel the project is no longer needed in the market, but the product owner have the right to do that. Only the product owner. But Waterfall equally has their own challenges. Challenges like limited flexibility to accommodate changing requirements and priorities. So it's very difficult to accommodate or add requirements. And that's why they so much talk about scope creep. Scope creep. All the time they are very important. They are very particular about scope creep because it's not easy to add a change in an ongoing project in Waterfall. I'm not saying that it does happen, but you need to follow a rigid due process in order to achieve that. Limited stakeholder involvement and feedback until late in the project life cycle. So in Waterfall, it's not like Agile. In Agile, every 2 weeks, you can be inviting stakeholders to show them what you've done. But in Waterfall, it doesn't happen that way. It might take time before you come to what we call milestone. At every milestone, it might be at the end of the, when you have arrived at a milestone, that is when you invite stakeholders. So, and it might be too late when the project is getting out of alignment, or the project or the product you are developing is no longer trending in the market. It becomes obsolete. So these are some of the risks. High risk of project failure if project requirements are misunderstood or misrepresented. And difficulty in adapting to unexpected changes or challenges during the project execution. So that stiffness, rigidness this is the major problem we are facing in Waterfall environment, rigidity. unlike Agile that is very flexible. So, Waterfall offers structured and sequential approach to project management suitable for projects with stable and well understood requirements, while the Waterfall methodology provides clarity and predictability in the project progression. It may lack the flexibility, adaptability required to address rapidly changing business environments and evolving customer need. We all know that customer need is so evolving. It's very difficult to, their appetite is so wide. You can't, and if you can't cope with their need, they are leaving you the next moment. For instance, you see these days, most of these youngsters, young people, if they want to open an account with Lloyds CSB or Barclays Bank, and they tell them the next thing they are downloading Monzo Bank, the application. They want it done immediately. They don't have that patience. That is them. Most of us here are using Monzo Bank because we don't have the patience to go to Lloyds. We don't have the patience to go to Halifax. We don't have the patience to go to Barclays and follow their rigorous process of opening an account. They ask you bring your date of your passport. They ask you to bring this. They ask you to bring a letter from this, cancel her. All this you don't need. In Monzo Bank, 15 minutes, your account is running. Tide, the same thing. Chase, the same thing. So that is customer. And you see customer, if they want to use, they request a card from Monzo, and Monzo is not responding as fast as they want, they are migrating to Revolut. That is customer appetite and their need. So you need a flexible environment, like agile environment, to handle situations like this. Companies like Barclays Bank, they have structured approach, structured way of opening bank account. You must follow that structured way. They don't want, you must comply to so many, and this is so rigid for today's market, and it's not gonna work. And that's why so many of these traditional banks are beginning to lose grip of the financial banking economy or the banking industry. So many of us from Nigeria, we know these stories. How many young people, if you go to universities, 90% of university undergraduates, if they are not using PAMPay, they are using OP. They don't even care about Zenith Bank, First Bank, and the rest of them. If you are not using OP, PAMPay, or Money Point, or Kuda, this new generation new bank, that is because they are so flexible. Okay. If we start talking about the challenges, the fight between agile approach and waterfall approach is long. We need to talk about from today till next tomorrow. It has a lot, the fight, but the truth is that agile has been beating all the project management methodologies, hands down. So let's look at PRINCE2. You know, PRINCE2, this is how PRINCE2 looks like. PRINCE2, which is called Project in Controlled Environment. That is project in control, and that's the meaning of PRINCE2. Is a structured project management methodology developed by the UK government. This is developed by the UK government. I think out of all the other project methodologies, so many of the other methodologies have been developed by It's either one school of thought or this, but this is from the government. And that's why those days it became so popular in UK. If you really want to be a project manager in UK, you need to go get PRINCE2 certification. We have PRINCE2 Foundation and PRINCE2 Practitioner. That is where we started. That's where I started. All of us started we were working so hard to get our foundation, get our practitioner. But all of a sudden, it just Agile started taking over everything. So it's developed by the UK government to provide a common framework for managing project effectively. PRINCE2 is based on 7 principles, themes, and processes that guide project planning, execution, control throughout the project life cycle. So PRINCE2 try to have a bite of everything. What do I mean by that? They are not as rigid as Waterfall, and they are not as flexible as Agile. They are kind of this we call Wagile. Okay, let's look at PRINCE2 principles. Principles of PRINCE2. Continued project justification. As long as that project is viable, that is number 1. So the PRINCE2, the main purpose for PRINCE2, that is their number 1 main principle, is that the project must be bringing something back to table. There must be a viable, clear return on investment. As long as the project still has that clear return on investment, the project should still be on. But if the project is no longer have that viability, then that project should be closed. That is PRINCE2, meaning that the project manager must work hard to make sure that the project you are managing is viable. Viability of the project. PRINCE2 must have a valid business case that justify the investment of resources and effort. And this is why in UK, they made it compulsory that most public sectors, organizations, most of their projects are within PRINCE2. And that is another reason why in UK, if you're a project manager, you have to be extremely careful, because more especially if you are handling projects within public sector. If the project goes wrong, you have to face public committee of inquiry. They keep on setting up committee of inquiries to inquire what happened in every failed project. And that's why I was telling you that if you have to start a project, make sure you have a project charter. A project charter gives you the authorization to start that project. So if your project goes wrong and you find yourself facing committee of inquiry and you do not even have a project charter, then you know that you are on your next leg to prison, because no one justified that project. And everybody who must have been acting as their senior or the project, they will all deny you. So you have to protect yourself with project charter. I'm saying this out of experience. So the business case outlines the expected benefits, costs, risk, and return associated with the project. All of us here, we know what business case is because I made sure that we create a business case. Now you can see some of the things I've been asking you to do. You see the reason why you have to do it. You see the reason why you need to know how to do it. Then learn from experience. PRINCE2 encourages project team to learn from past experience, both successes and failures, and apply lesson learned to improve project planning and execution. So it is ideal in project that it becomes a statutory deliverable, more especially if you're working with, there should be what we call lesson learned meeting, just like we're having just like we're having read meeting every week. The team must be having lesson learned meeting. The way we do it is that in lesson learned, in read meeting, the day we have read meeting, we have lesson learned meeting as well. So read meeting can be 1 hour, and then lesson learned can be 30 minutes. So what we do after read, we start lesson learned immediately. So it can be just like 1 hour, 30 minutes. We capture read and we capture lesson learned. These are two different separate documents. At the end of every project, you need to document the lesson learned. That lesson learned is very, very powerful resources in a project, call it a PMO, project management office. They keep it within their library so that when you are starting a project, you can go and read up lesson learned from so many projects and see what they didn't go wrong. You see their struggles, their challenges. That will help you when you are managing your own project. So according to UK PRINCE2, there must be a lesson learned. So with this, Seji, are you listening? Are you with me?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, you know, you guys are having read meeting already.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want lesson learned to be added to that read meeting. So the day you people have read meeting, after read meeting, you start lesson learned meeting immediately.
Okay.
So lesson learned doesn't require much. You just to find out what happened, what we didn't do well, and how would you have done it very well. We call it lesson learned. We call it lesson learned in Waterfall or PRINCE2. But if you go to agile approach, we call it Scrum retrospective. If you look at it, that is the after Scrum review, we have the last meeting before we start another meeting. It's called Scrum retrospective. So agile call lesson learned retrospective. I want you guys to note that it's very, very important. Okay, let's continue with this. Okay. Then the next is defining roles and responsibilities. Yeah, we've been doing this defining roles and responsibilities in most of the projects we handle. We define roles and responsibilities, and we use RACI metrics to do that. Did we do that in this project? Have we captured RACI metrics where we define roles and responsibilities? I'm talking to us.
Can you repeat the?
Defining roles and responsibilities in
Yeah.
projects. Did we capture that at the early stage?
Yes.
Okay. So we define roles and responsibilities. We use RACI metrics. So if we didn't capture it, we'll have to look at it again and see maybe we can capture it. But RACI metrics is something we capture in every of my project bootcamp, RACI metrics. So you see, PRINCE2 is very kind of a selection of everything that is very important from agile approach and from waterfall approach. And they released the UK government, the committee that set up this PRINCE2, they sat down to think well of what can, because the government do not want abandoned projects. If you go to Africa, the major problem we're having in Africa is abandoned projects. You see so many elephant projects, abandoned projects everywhere within government sectors, public sectors, abandoned projects. Like in my state, you had a project, International Conference Center, that worth millions of dollars that they abandoned it. So many government hotels abandoned. So many refineries, oil refineries abandoned. And that's why the country is not looking good because of abandon. So UK do not want this kind of scenario. And that's why they came up with this PRINCE2. So within PRINCE2, you have to define clear roles and responsibilities for project stakeholders, including the project's board project manager, team manager, and project support role, ensuring accountability and ownership. Okay, manage by stages. PRINCE2 divide project lifecycle into manageable stages known as management stages, just like other project management, which is if you look, we know that Waterfall uses stages as well. We define objective deliverables and review points. Each stage must be planned, monitored, and controlled to ensure progress and quality. Manage by exception. Projects, PRINCE2 empower project managers to make day-to-day decisions within predefined tolerance, but requires escalation to higher authority if tolerance are exceeded or issues arise that cannot be resolved within the project manager's authority. So here is where PRINCE2 is telling you to see, gives authority, gives you that authority to manage, higher authority. So PRINCE2 gives you day-to-day management, but if you cannot manage, then you can escalate. So project charter has given you that authority if you have that project charter. But if there's something beyond your power, you can be escalated to the stakeholders. Focus on product. PRINCE2 emphasizes the importance of defining and managing projects, deliverables known as products. Throughout the project lifecycle, the product must be defined, approved, and delivered according to predefined quality criteria and standard. So you see the reason most of the time solution we are working on is called products. So these are where all these products they started calling solutions like software, call them products. They are software, but so many projects have captured it as a product, and that's why we're calling it product. In Agile as well, we call it products. So these are where these names product comes in. So and it becomes very, very important to the extent that we have product management as as a career these days, product ownership and things like that. Tailor to suit the project environment. Every project differs. That is what PRINCE2 is telling you. We have projects, difficult projects or complex projects. We have simple projects. We have different sectors as well, like healthcare. We have manufacturing. We have IT. So tailor a project to suit a particular environment. PRINCE2 is adaptable and scalable, allowing organizations to tailor its principle, theme, and processes to suit the specific need, complexity, and context of individual priority projects. So here is where PRINCE2 adopted agile approach. You see, if a project becomes complex, you can tailor it to more agile approach. That is what it's telling you here. So you cannot make your project to be so rigid. PRINCE2 is giving you authority to be flexible, and you see the last principle here is that be flexible when the need comes. Don't say, yes, this is not their plan, this is not the agreement, this is not the requirement. If the project becomes so complex, find a way to meet specific need, individual need, project need. PRINCE2 equally have themes. These are key principles you need to have at the back of your mind as a project manager while you're working within PRINCE2. And these are the themes. Themes here will have business case. Your project must have a business case. Ensure that the project remains aligned within the organizational objective and deliver value to stakeholders. Project business case is all about justifying the return on investment. That is why we have business case. We are making a case for this project. We are supporting this project. Most of the time, teaching this project to the stakeholders. So, and what we are saying is that this project is viable. That is business case. So it must be delivering the right value to the stakeholders. Organization means that the project must be highly organized. For the project to be organized, it must have a clear rules, responsibilities, reporting structure for project stakeholders. We have quality, establish a quality standard. In every project must have quality standard. You see, when we do capture requirements, our product backlogs, we capture acceptance criteria as well. It's very, very important. So establish quality criteria or acceptance criteria or standard, whichever. We must have a standard control or acceptance criteria and processes to ensure that the project deliverable meets stakeholders' expectation. Then plan. Developing comprehensive plan to guide project execution, monitoring, and control. You see, a project plan is a must. Just like we have captured project planning and created a project plan. So you must have a project plan, just like the one we've created. Risk, you must be identifying, assessing, and mitigating risk to minimize their impact. And that's why we're having weekly RAID meeting to capture, to identify and assess risk. Change. Managing change to project scope, requirement, and deliverable to ensure alignment with stakeholders' need and expectation. Yes, PRINCE2 gives you the authority to managing changes. There is changes in project scope. Yes, capture it and address it. Nobody is telling you not to capture project change, but follow the due process in order to capture changes within the project. That is what PRINCE2 is telling you. And then we have progress. Monitor and report project progress against the baseline. We know what baseline means. Versioning of our project plan. Schedule, budget, and quality criteria. You must have a baseline, and that's what, and monitor as you progress. Process of PRINCE2. When you are managing a project in PRINCE2, this is the way it should be. First, starting up a project, initiate the project, defining the objective and approach, and appointing the project management team. Directing a project, providing oversight and governance for the project, including authorizing project initiation, approving stage plan, and monitoring project progress. Initiating a project, establishing a detailed project plan, including the business case, project management approach, and project initiation document. Controlling a stage, monitoring and controlling project progress, managing issues and risk, and reviewing stage performance against plan objective. Managing project deliverables. Managing the project development and deliverable and delivery of project product according to the predefined quality criteria and standard. And managing stage boundaries. Reviewing project progress, updating plan, and obtaining approval to proceed to the next stage. So you cannot move to the next stage until you have received approval from the project manager or the line manager or the project sponsor or the program manager or director. So you must get approval. Just like you, the project manager, if you assign a duty or a task to a team member, you must approve before the team member can start another. So it's equally in every stage, before you move to the next stage, you must get approval. Closing a project, formalizing closure, reviewing project document and capturing lesson learned, and handing over project deliverable to stakeholders. And that is PRINCE2 for you. Benefits of PRINCE2: provide common framework and language for managing project effectively, emphasizing continuous business justification and project engagement. You see, this number 2 is something that everybody is so interested in PRINCE2, continuous business justification. Promote clear rules, responsibilities, accountabilities for projects and stakeholders. For flexible and adaptable to suit various project type, size, and context. Encourage learning from projects, past projects, and applying lesson learned to improve project outcome. So if you look at PRINCE2, you see that PRINCE2 is a clear picture of what we call WAGILE, combination of everything that works. Challenges of PRINCE2 methodology. Okay, this is where everybody struggles when it comes to PRINCE2, requires formal documentation, government processes, which can be time-consuming and bureaucratic. Because of government involvement in everything about is always bureaucratic. May not be suitable for projects with high uncertainty or rapid changing requirement. Yes, although they agreed you can tailor the project, but it's not like as in agile that is have high uncertainty, where you can use Scrum at extreme measure when you have project with high uncertainties. So PRINCE2 is still a bit, though they have this flexibility, but their flexibility is still controlled. But in agile, that control is removed. Okay. Number 3 challenges: relies heavily on upfront planning and may struggle to accommodate evolving project need and priorities. So you see, they still have this waterfall approach in them that makes it to be a bit difficult to accommodate evolving project need and priority, requires training and certification for project managers and team members to effectively implement PRINCE2. So why so many PRINCE2 is not so that popular these days is because you must be a certified PRINCE2 practitioner. Call it practitioner. You must have at least be a certified Scrum-based you have foundation and practitioner. So these are some of the certification you need before you can run a project in PRINCE2. You know, and so many organizations do not have that kind of patience. And these days, you hardly see people doing this certification. So that's why PRINCE2, this stiffness is what the major challenges about PRINCE2 are. So, but PRINCE2 is a very good project management approach. PRINCE2 methodology offers a structured and process-based approach to project management, providing organizations with a flexible and adaptable framework for managing projects effectively. By embracing PRINCE2 principles, themes, and process, organization can improve project governance. There's more and more about governance, stakeholder engagement, and project success rate, ultimately delivering value to stakeholders and achieving project objectives. So looking at these three, these three agile, waterfall, and PRINCE2 as of today are the most popular project management methodologies in use today. And that's why we try to capture these three. So know how, no matter where you might find yourself, if more especially if you are going to be, although governments are beginning to adopt agile a lot these days because of governments are using a lot of technologies these days. So that's it. So that's all about project management methodologies. So you can see what we're using is, if you're looking at what we'll be using already, we'll have a lot of PRINCE2 the adaptation, we have waterfall adaptation, we have agile adaptation in our projects, giving us an eye opener to this. So you cannot struggle whichever way you find yourself. You might have done one thing or the other, and so that's it. So that with this, you can, and with our practical, what we are doing practical, you should be able to handle projects both from waterfall, from agile, and from PRINCE2. But if you like in PRINCE2, if it's a PRINCE2 project, you must have PRINCE2 practitioner. So many local governments, they are still asking for PRINCE2, but so many of them, they will put it in the job specification. But if you apply, you can still get it. If you don't have, highest thing is that they will require you to go and get it. If you are very good, they don't care. Highest, if it's a big requirement for them, they will make sure you get it. And that's it. So that's it. That's all we have about project management methodologies. And if you've got any question on any of them, we can talk more about it. And yeah, that will take us to what we have tomorrow. Tomorrow, like I said, is going to be on JIRA. How we're going to, we first have to understand JIRA, how to create account in JIRA, move our requirement, that's the product backlog, to JIRA, prepare JIRA, invite project team members to JIRA, and then start our sprint planning. Okay. Questions? If you have any.
Not for me.
All right. Hi, Anna, you all right?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. I'm fine, thank you, sir.
Good, good. Yeah. Amaka, how are you? Kim, how are you?
I'm good, sir.
I'm fine, thank you. It's great. I learned PRINCE2 3 years ago, but actually it reflects everything. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, if you are coming to UK, everything, if you want to go into, the first thing they'll tell you is PRINCE2 because it's government approved. But things have changed because a lot of industry, we have a lot of technological advancements, and PRINCE2 is equally struggling, Yeah, so that's why Agile has become a leading factor, project management, because of technological advancement.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Nafis, I've not heard from you for some time. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good, Charles.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's been a refreshing session today. I've learned this waterfall, these methodologies and PRINCE2. It's been like 2 years for me as well when I was doing my MSc. Yeah, it was like a refresher. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I know. Like this PRINCE2, and they tend to treat it very well in the universities. When I was in the University of Westminster, PRINCE2 is something they took time to make sure we understand PRINCE2, because they know that it's a government owned project management approach.
Oh, wow.
Yes, that's it. And this is very particularly used in the UK only. So yeah, that's very good.
Yeah. But today, you see so many startups, so many IT companies springing up. The government don't dictate to them how to manage their business, and so many of them, everybody wants agile, because agile will give you the maximum benefit. Agile will give you. They want to understand customers. They want to follow customers. They want to everything, and agile will give you the opportunity to follow customers and understand them very well. It's all about for companies, private sectors. It's all about understanding their customers. And that is where agile becomes handy, because you see all these big corporations, you see Microsoft, you see Apple Corporation, you see Facebook, you see Google, all of them are on agile project management, all of them. So if you see local government authorities, if you see Ministry of Justice, most of them are using PRINCE2, but I've had witness where so many of them are I've worked in NHS, and they are purely agile inclined, even NHS. So PRINCE2, became so popular, and all of a sudden it died away as well. Hi, Victor.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Yeah, how you have any contribution?
No, really, no. I already have a little bit of knowledge about things you said. And everything you said, yeah, in line. So,
All right. Michael?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Good evening, sir.
You okay?
Yes, I'm good, sir.
All right. And Joseph?
Good evening, sir.
You okay?
I'm okay, thank you. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. Though I joined late, but
Okay.
I think I'm good. I'll watch the video. Thank you very much.
All right.
Good
All
evening,
right.
everyone.
Everything we'll do here, we must have done it one way or the other. It's all these terminologies. If we have created all these deliverables, we have submitted all these deliverables that we're asking you to submit, find out that you are there already. So you're already a project manager. So the only thing is that's why I want us to practice this agile. We need to deliver this project on agile, which we are going to start tomorrow. It's very, very important, because companies want to make sure you know agile. Agile, because there's so many IT projects every day. It's either integration, migration, or implementation, or this and that. Even organizations, if they are talking about PRINCE2, it's difficult using only PRINCE2 in so many, most things are software development, software configuration, and all these things are in agile. You have to do them in environment like Jira, and Jira is 100% agile. All right, thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow. And we are starting the next phase, which is execute stage. We've started by ending this session. I will go to our Freight Camp to update what we need to do. So you follow up, and yeah. So thank you. And Sage, like I said, I want to have a word with you. So thank you. This is where we're ending the session for tonight.
All right, bye, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charles.
Goodbye.
Thank you.